Hello everyone, my name is Robert, and in this work we present an empirical study investigating the functional modularity of neural networks. This is done via a novel neural network inspection method based on differentiable weight masking and which is generally applicable to any neural network. It works as follows. Given a frozen weight network retained on some task, for example to perform addition and multiplication, we define a subtask such as performing addition. Then, we train a binary weight mask to perform this subtask, unveiling the subnetwork responsible for it. The same can be done for other subtasks to attribute functionality to each weight and gain insight into how the network has learned to perform the task. We apply our inspection method to find out if standard neural networks learn solutions composed of functional modules, which offer several advantages for learning efficiency and generalization. In particular, we investigate two properties. First, are different modules or subnetworks responsible for different functionality? And second, are learned subnetworks used to perform the same functionality in different contexts? To test whether different modules are responsible for different functionality, we train a network to perform addition and multiplication, which are very different tasks. In this case, one would expect to find unshared hidden weights exclusively responsible for a single operation. We measure the proportion of the weights that are overlapping or a subset of one another and indeed found that there is a significant separation. However, we also found a non-negligible number of shared weights in the hidden layers. To test whether the same module is used to perform the same functionality in different contexts, we trained a network to either add the first two or the second two out of the four presented numbers. In this case, we would expect to find mostly shared hidden weights. However, we ended up finding that most of the weights are unshared. To verify whether the found modules are truly separate, we take the masks responsible for individual tasks and invert them. If the separation is nearly perfect, the inverted masks should perform well on the complementary tasks. Otherwise, this would destroy the performance on both tasks. Indeed, the inverted masks worked perfectly on the opposite tasks, confirming their separation. We also analyzed a more complex task, continually learning new permutations of MNIST using a fully connected network. We freeze the used weights before switching to a new permutation and always reinitialize the first layer. The task is easily solvable by undoing the permutation in the first layer. Nonetheless, we found insignificant weight sharing, which increases only when the layers are running out of space. This confirms our findings on double addition tasks. To summarize, we found some bias to separate different functionality using different modules, but no bias for sharing computation of identical functions in different contexts. Next, we analyzed the well-known systematic generalization issues of RNNs and transformers on the scan dataset. First, we pre-trained the network on IRD data that performs well on all test splits. Then we train a weight mask for each split, which reveals critical task-exclusive weights. Applying the masks learned on a subset of the original training set removes critical weights responsible for certain compositions of the underlying rules. Further inspections suggest that the observed generalization issues are not only due to the scarce evidence for discovering analogies between the problematic and well-performing commands, but at least in part due to being unable to manipulate these commands algorithmically and perform dynamic variable binding. We confirmed this behavior for RNNs and transformers on the mathematics dataset. Finally, we analyzed CNNs on CIFAR10. We identified class-exclusive weights which, when removed, cause a huge performance drop. Once again, this confirms the bias towards not sharing weights. By analyzing this performance drop, we were able to draw conclusions about class similarities. To conclude, we have proposed a method for inspecting the functionality of subnetworks based on differentiable weight masks. Using this tool and via an extensive study spanning a number of architectures and datasets, we were able to demonstrate how standard neural networks learn to specialize, but they resist to reuse weights when the underlying functionality is shared. We provided further insights into the systematic generalization issues on SCAN and the mathematics dataset. We expect that these insights will help to work towards designing neural systems that learn modular solutions.